In the last lecture, we looked at variables inside of C#, and we went ahead and created a few different types of them. Let's clear out what we've got inside of our sketch file and start afresh. In this section, we're going to look at manipulating those variables and what we can do with each one. So let's create a couple variables first. Let's have some integers. Integer num1 is equal to 6. Let's have integer num2 is equal to 15. Now, what if I wanted to add those numbers? That's no problem. I can make a new integer. I can say integer answer is equal to num1 plus num2. And over in the right hand side you'll see the number 21 appear. And of course we can do the same if we want to subtract them. So I'll just change this to a minus. The answer is -9. What happens if I want to multiply? Well, I hit asterisk and it multiplies them for us. Now, here's a tricky one. What if I say the second number is 12 and let's try num2 divided by is a / num1. You would expect this to come out at 2 and you'd be correct. But what if I made num2 15? The answer should now be 2.5 on this line, but it's still 2. Why is that? Well, it's because integer can only store a whole number. It can't store a decimal. So what does it do? It just drops the half and forgets about it. It doesn't round, doesn't do anything like that. So how do we get around this problem? Well, let's try make the answer into a double. And we still have the same problem. Why is that? Because this section is evaluated first, and that evaluation is going to become an integer, which is then stored inside of answer. So it doesn't matter if I have a double, a float. It really doesn't matter what I have there. I'm still going to have 2. So what's the solution for this? Well, it's really to change these numbers to an appropriate type. So let's have these set as double and double, and then let's set this answer as a double. And now we get our decimal appearing, 2.5. So always be aware of the type when you're multiplying, dividing. It's not so important with addition and subtraction, but definitely division is a problem. Okay, so we can do all kinds of maths functions inside numbers. What about strings, you say? Well, let's create some. Let's have string word1 is equal to Grant. Oh, I haven't put a semicolon on that line. That's why this is indenting. Let's create string word2 equal to is, and string word3 equal to awesome. You can see where I'm going with this, can't you? Right, what if I wanted to make all of those words into a sentence? Well, we can use addition with strings. So let's type string sentence is equal to word1 plus word2 plus word3. And there we have our badly formed sentence called Grant is awesome. That's me, by the way. But there are no spaces in it. How do we get around that? Well, we can add strings on the fly. So after word 1, we can hit plus, we can put quote space quote, and it will add a space for us. And of course, we can do the same after word 2. Plus, quote space quote. And we have word 3. So we can do that on the fly. Just bear in mind, these aren't actually stored anywhere. They're used once and then discarded. Now, you'll be shocked to know you can't actually multiply strings. So we can't say word 1 times word. It doesn't even let us complete it. We have a console output error. The type or namespace word 1 could not be found. So, we can't multiply and we can't divide strings, but we can manipulate them and smash them all together. We can also find things that are attached to the string class, the double class, the integer class, etc. And the way we do that is typing our variable sentence and then putting a dot. And this opens up all of the methods that we're going to cover in a future lecture that allow us to manipulate that string quickly and easily. So if we can scroll down, we can look at things like length, and this tells us that there are 16 characters inside of our string. We can also have something like to upper, and what that's going to do when I put my brackets in is uppercase everything. But that isn't stored anywhere. So if I type sentence, we still have the original stored item. If I perform a function on a variable, but I don't actually say sentence is equal to sentence to upper, then it won't store it. We can also have sentence to lower, to lowercase everything, etc., etc. You get the idea. If I get my num1 and I put a dot, I have fewer options here. One of them, we've already covered, is toString, so I can make it into a string if I wish. Okay, that covers basic variable manipulation in C#.